Welcome back to our channel. So today I'm going to show you guys how I remove the color from my wigs anytime I want to switch it up and basically revamp my wigs into something new. So this is what we started off with. I colored this wig probably a year or two ago and it's just been sitting. I really don't wear my colored wigs, but this is what we ended up with once we finished with the process. Okay, so now this is what you're going to need. Some Dawn dish soap, some shampoo, I got this from the dollar store, and some baking soda. I also got this from the dollar store. And then a mixing bowl and a dye brush. I also like to wrap my table just to keep it safe. So I don't go in with any type of particular measurements. I look for a specific consistency. I also forgot to add, you can also add in just a dab of 10 volume developer if you're trying to pull a darker color like a black or like a really dark blue or something like that. You can add a little bit of 10 volume in. But I just like to go in, add a little bit at a time and then mix it up. And then I just keep adding until I get a bowl full so that way I can take care of a whole wig. Off camera, I also used my spray bottle and I just got the wig damp. I don't like doing this process with a soaking wet wig. I feel like it takes longer for the wig to process and get the color to come out. You just want to make it damp, use a spray bottle and kind of just get it moist. So this is what I mean by the right consistency. You want it to be really liquidy. You want to be able to move that throughout the hair. And I start with the frontal. Personally, I start with whatever part is darker. It really depends on the type of wig that you're going for. If you're trying to pull the color out of the lace and the knots, you want to go ahead and start at the frontal, just that way your process is longer. But I just go in, start working that product into the hair and making sure everything is coated nice and evenly. You want to also keep in mind that this process is basically the hair going through a chemical reaction. What happens, and you'll see when you mix all the products together, the baking soda is what actually strips the wig. So I'm saying all this to say you want to make sure you wear gloves. I know I'm not wearing gloves right here, but trust me, you will get a little chemical burn on your finger. The same thing is like when you use your bleach. So just make sure you go ahead and put on some gloves. Just always be safe. Keep that in mind when you're going through this process, especially when you use the developer, if you decide to put the 10 volume developer in there.
Drop the roof and let the smoke clear. Drop the roof and let the smoke clear. I got diamonds doing twisty slides in both ways. Dice rolling on the Las Vegas.
So I normally do this about 3 times depending on the color of the wig and like how blonde I'm trying to get it. I go through this whole process. It normally takes me about 10 minutes depending on the length of the wig as well, but I just make sure it's get in there really good, and I keep tripping over my words. I want to make sure everything's worked in there really good, and then I normally put it in a plastic bag or like a Tupperware container and seal it closed. It helps process a little bit faster, and you want to let it sit for about an hour. After that, you rinse it out. I rinse it out with warm water until it's primarily clean. I know it still will be a little soap in there. That's just fine. I go back in with another round. Do that process again. Normally takes me about 10 minutes. Let it sit for like an hour or two. Rinse it out. go in for the third time.
Run it up before I go. Would you tell the world my secrets if I let them close? Still my head, you selling accents. These days, no come my way. Niggas be blasting, living in the middle. This shit might drive you mad. Feeling pretty mixed up, but this life shit ain't all bad. Bloody, blood and murder, there ain't no second chances. Shit crazy. Let's do what you wanna, live how you wanna, spend what you wanna, be who you wanna be. I'm stunner till I die. You can do what you wanna, live how you wanna, spend what you wanna, be who you wanna be. I'm stunner till I die.
And I also made sure to keep in there the little bit of hair that I got. Your wig will shed during this process. That's normal. It's what's going to happen. But I did find that with the watercolor method, when you use that boiling hot water to strip the color, your wig tends to shed way more than what it should, or it'll tangle and things like that. So I just go ahead and do it this way. It prevents the shedding and the tangling that you experience. But this is the final look right before I dye the hair, just showing you guys everything. There are some parts that I could have touched up and went over again, but I wasn't too pressed because I am dyeing this wig blue, so all of that was going to be covered. And just to show y'all that I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, let me show y'all this technique on a red wig. This wig is a custom wig for me. It was actually dyed a light pink to dark pink ombre, and then my customer dyed it this fire hydrant red color. So I went in, stripped that color, and then we went back and dyed it a ginger. But this is the blonde that I got before I went in and deep conditioned the wig.